Me to be talking about this for 50 hours or whatever. I'm always down to crash. I feel like I'm the crash. I can't wait to crash out on stream, not in real life. But yeah, we got to get into topics. Okay, so here we go. So the ASAP Rocky shooting trial has started. Now, I'm gonna lay out a few things very clearly before we get into the weeds of all of this, because I do think that ASAP Rocky, the prosecutor tried to hit him with an uppercut, and if he does get found guilty, I think he has a great grounds for an appeal because I felt like they snaked the shit out of him. Now, first and foremost, if you guys don't know, ASAP Rocky was accused of shooting his friend ASAP Rocky in the hand after a disagreement. Some of it was caught on camera where Rocky had a gun. There's another far camera that kind of shows a muzzle flash and whatever the case is. And ultimately, the dude cooperated with the police, right? Now, ASAP Rocky was offered 180 days, okay? He's facing 24 years, but he was offered 180 days. And it was supposed to be 180 days with a bunch of hold on, let me see if I can see the full thing. It was 3 years of probation, a 7-year suspended sentence, which we always got to watch out for, right? Because, if you fuck up on probation after the 180, so it would have been 180 days in jail, suspended 7 years, right? But he had to go through 3 years of probation. And if he fucked up on probation, he would get 7 years, right? He said no. He said, I'm not doing that, okay? I'm not doing that. Let's go to trial. Which, by the way, I have to be honest with you, a pre-trial offer of him doing less than a year, right? It's about less than a year because it's 365, 180. Yeah, that's 6 months. So, yeah, it's exactly half of a year. He would have only had to do 6 months in jail. It's in California. In California, it's so much overcrowded and also is a high-profile guy. He probably would have spent like 2.5 months in there. They would let him out, right? However, it came out later that, the concern is, okay, once you accept that, the probation, the suspended sentence hanging over your head is going to fuck with you, and eventually they'll get you to fuck up. Now, I don't know what Rocky's into these days. Is he smoking a lot? I don't know if, I think California weed is legal, right? So in California, weed is legal. That means that he could be smoking. So again, it can't be, how does he think he was going to violate the 3 years of probation? Unless he was going to be violent again, right? Weed is legal. I mean, he could drink. I don't know if he does coke or some other weird drugs, but unless it's something like that and he would have to fail a drug test, look like he would have been straight. But maybe he's like, yo, bro, I don't want to go to jail, period. Now, he's risking a lot. Okay, so he basically turns it down, right? Turns it down, they pick a jury, 7 women, 5 dudes. Now, here's the thing about this, and this is why I think they backdoored ASAP Rocky. I'm going to explain before I get to what the judge said. Essentially, we're at court. Now, remember I told you, and I've said this multiple times, there's something called a Brady violation or Brady law, right? It's a Brady rule, actually. It's a rule. Which means that the prosecutor has to turn over all evidence that could be exculpatory, even if it hurts their case. So if I find, or if I interviewed a witness that said that, oh, Rocky definitely didn't do it, I got to show him the transcript of that, or I gotta, if I'm gonna include that person's testimony, I gotta show them the transcript. Or if there's an angle of a camera that shows Rocky somewhere else, I gotta, and I review that. I gotta send that to him that he could use. Right. The trial basically started. They picked the jury. Right. This is ASAP Rocky right here. The prosecutor goes to the judge last minute. Like, the trial has started. The prosecutor said, yo, judge, check this out, right? We just got ballistic evidence, an analysis of it, and we want to use this for the trial. Now, this is why I'm saying they snaked Rocky, right? Remember, he turned down the plea of 180 days. Why did he turn it down? Well, probably because of the discovery, and he probably, oh, they got a weak-ass case. And also, most of the eyewitnesses are fucking with me. So, now I'm going to beat it. Hold on, let me, I'm sorry. Why is this? Okay. I'm going to beat this case. They come in later with a ballistic report, and this is very important. You have to understand this. Rocky's defense is that because he's on camera, he's actually on camera holding a gun in his hand. Actually on camera, right? So he's holding a gun in his hand on camera. Let me show you right here. Sorry. So this is when a guy is trying to grab Rocky. Rocky's pushing him back. Some guy comes to intervene. Rocky then blah, blah, blah. And then you see Rocky here. He has something behind his back, which later now seen is a gun. Rocky's team and his defense is that they're not going to say, oh, that video is not Rocky. They have basically said it's Rocky in the video. Their defense is that what you're seeing here that you're going to call a gun is a prop gun. Now, that was a viable defense, and it probably worked because clearly at the time of them coming up with that defense, there's no ballistic report, right? Because y'all could say it's a fake gun because y'all don't have any tests to show that the injuries the guy suffered was from a real gun and probably from a gun that y'all did a search warrant on him and Rihanna's crib that they found, I think it was a Glock 43 or something like that. So he's looking at it like, yo, bro, what the fuck? The prosecutors show up and say, oh, we have a ballistic report from the gun and all the, I don't know if there was casing or whatever, that matches this gun or this whatever weapon that's in his hand that he's claiming is a starter gun. Now, the reason why I'm being a little bit long-winded here, but I'm doing it for a reason. The reason why Rocky, I believe, just got backdoored is that maybe if he knew that, oh, y'all have ballistic evidence for the gun, he would say, you know what? Let me check out of this shit and just take the plea of 180 days in jail, because if y'all have proof that our main line of defense, which their whole defense is what was in Rocky's hand, this thing isn't a real gun. But if y'all show up the last day by saying, oh, no, it's definitely a real gun, and matter of fact, it matches the ballistic reports for blah, 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 it kind of blows up A$AP Rocky's entire defense. And who knows, maybe he would have reconsidered taking a plea. So they show up with this today and this, or not today, yesterday. And let me show y'all the conversation that happened. So the judge actually did not decline. The judge did not decline. A$AP Rocky's team basically said, Judge, I can't continue forward. Hold on, give me 1 second. He said, I can't continue forward with this case if y'all are going to admit this into evidence, because our whole defense is fucked up now, and we don't have even our people that reviewed it. Hold on. His name is Tacopina. That's his name. Let's see if we can say. Yeah. Okay, here we go. He was so livid. Do I have it? Give me a second. Joe Tacopina. Anyway, his lawyer basically said, we can't go. Yo, I'm upset that y'all are doing this. You can't let this go. It says no way they could proceed if this report is admitted, right? There's actually a video of it. Here we go.
His lawyer just said this in court.
So many people said to me this morning, I told you so, that this was going to happen. And I'm trying to keep my composure. I don't know if I've ever been this upset in a court in my whole career, both as a prosecutor and as a defense attorney. I have to be honest with you. This is not right. It's not fair to him.
Defense that a prop gun was used, then they got the jury seated, and then last night or earlier this morning, prosecutors sent Rocky's lawyer a ballistics report. And Rocky's lawyer had a meltdown saying, I'm not going to trial if they're going to be allowed to use this ballistics report that they've never shown me before. I need multiple days to get an expert to look at this report and come up with our own conclusions to even understand what this report says. Rocky's lawyer is asking the judge to throw the evidence out and go forward with the trial. The judge might say, no, we're going to pause the trial and you can go get your expert. Or the judge might say, tough luck, trial continues, the report is in, good luck. Let's see what happens.
Okay. So basically, Rocky's lawyer said, yo, y'all can't just show up last minute with this evidence that's going to fuck up our whole defense. And what the hell? Like we don't even have our people that reviewed it. And essentially what happened is that the judge responded. And the judge responded to yesterday with a pretty extensive soliloquy explaining, and I'll save you the cliffhangers. He said, we're going to admit it into evidence, but he says this is why.
Recently finding out about this ballistic report. Everybody at the table, all counsel, to me, has great credibility. I accept what all of you say. I don't believe that there's been any nefarious conduct by anybody. If this late report involved, all of a sudden that it was disclosed that a witness, an additional witness positively identified Mr. Mayers as the shooter, that would be very critical and crucial. If a witness came forward and said, yeah, Mr. Mayers confessed to me that he shot a SAP relative, that would be very critical and crucial. If a firearm, if a 9mm was recovered, that could be ballistically compared to the casings, and that just became discoverable or became disclosed, I think that would be critical. But that is not what happened here. What I'm seeing here is that the casings that were recovered were examined, and the opinion is they could have been fired from a Glock 43 or any other number of types of 9mm. You have said that, well, now you want to hire a ballistic expert. That's not fair to you and your client. So this is what I am proposing. We have a list, a Superior Court list of firearm examiners that have been recognized as experts. My star judicial assistant over there, Alice, will print out that list. Ms. Kaplan is an attorney who practices in this area. If there is someone on the list that you want to hire, contact that person and tell them this is crucial that the ballistic evidence be examined now, not later, but now. The court will pay for it. Mr. Mayers will not have to pay for this. We will. If the firearms examiner wants extra money because it's a rush, the court will pay for it. If you are not satisfied with the people on the list, then if you want to find your own examiner who will do the examination, the court will pay for it. If it's necessary that I speak to the examiner to impress upon the examiner the importance of getting this done ASAP, I'm glad to do that. I am providing my cell phone number to all of you. If you need to call me any time of the day or night, I will speak to you. I will speak to a firearms examiner. If you feel it is necessary, Mr. Takapina, we can be dark on Monday. But I'm not excluding the evidence. I don't find that there is any nefarious conduct. The evidence is relevant. It's not a smoking gun, but it is somewhat inculpatory. But in and of itself does not mean that your client is guilty. That's the way we're going to deal with this, and that's the final ruling. I don't want to hear anything more about it. That's the end of the issue for now. Are both sides ready for the jury to come in? Do not mention anything about the ballistic comparison in the opening statement.
That was a question.
So yeah, do not mention that.
Understood.
Okay, and number one, if Rocky does get found guilty, I hope he doesn't, right? Just off, I'm talking from a fan's perspective. By the way, is this definitely, I compare this to the Tory and Meg situation. Number one, both, it's the same jurisdiction in terms of LA. We're going to see if ASAP Rocky testifies. Does he move a jury? That might do something. I will say, though, if Rocky does get found guilty, on appeal, this is going to be a huge thing, right? Yo, our whole defense was set up to say this is a fake gun. There ain't no ballistic report for a fake gun. Like, we're saying this is not a real gun. This is a fake gun, and you show up the first day of trial, damn near, by saying, hey, we have some new evidence that we want to bring into play, and it's a ballistic report based on what we found at the scene and what we found at his house. It shows that it's one of the guns that he had or had possession of that was used, and that's a problem, right? So we'll see what happens there. The trial is actually happening. This is the prosecutor's, pretty much opening statements for the prosecutor, right? Here we go.
Now I'm going to move to will be uncontradicted. As you have heard throughout jury selection, Mr. Myers is an entertainer, and he goes by the stage name ASAP Rocky. You will hear other nicknames that he is referred to in the evidence in this case, including Flacco and Luigi. At the time of this crime, Mr. Myers was 33 years old. He has his own company that I believe is referred to as AWGE, A-W-G-E, that you will hear referred to in the testimony in this case. And as we've talked about, his significant other is Rihanna.